I would say that the theme of the exhibition explores curiosity and the creative process as expressed through art and science. So what their research is about was really the structure of me, my fascination of wanting to understand how my own curiosity works.
We've been studying curiosity for a while. We've been particularly interested in curiosity's practice. What do you do when you're curious? The first way we tackled this was by getting people and having them browse on Wikipedia. The idea being that they have all this space, all this knowledge that they could seek out, and what are the types of information that they're curious about. And so from these data, we would monitor the pages they visited, the order in which they visited them. We would find interesting individual differences in how people traveled through Wikipedia. Some people would go after very seemingly random pages, whereas others, they would not be happy until they've kind of read around everything about a particular topic.
My art practice deals with the intersections of art and science, and what we're doing is to try to understand the structure and the poetry of how nature works and to express it through our work.
Rebecca was interested in working with us because of our work on curiosity. She's a very curious person, and I think she wanted to get insight into the process that she takes to make her artworks. Working with Rebecca was really helpful for our research, but along the way, we ended up creating art in the process, which was fun, and it was not our typical product. But as we were creating the types of visualizations that go into a scientific manuscript, for example, Rebecca found those really engaging and pushed us to think about how those typically scientific visualizations could be something artistic. And indeed, they ended up in the exhibit that she has going on right now.
What they were able to do was to help me see my process of discovery and to be able to share it with other people. So when they look at this incredible data visualization, what they're seeing here is all the paths of discovery, all my knowledge networking that went into creating every single work in this show. And it is magnificent.
So one thing I enjoy about working with artists is that you end up with almost like an outside observer looking in on the science. And by having someone who's a little bit detached from the work you're doing, you get to see the work in a new light. And there ends up being this feedback loop where, yes, Rebecca came in with some insight into what her curious practice looks like using tools that we already have, but she pushes us to improve our scientific method in order to capture the diversity of curiosities that are out there.
This exhibition is about creating new bridges and humanizing science for people, because that's such an important sense of discovery in my life as a person and as an artist. And I just want people to not be afraid of science, but to see it as something that they get to collaborate with and that they can be curious about. And I think it just makes for a much richer life.